We're going to open it up. Please raise your virtual hand. We're going to start with Jamie D. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jaime D, and I'm an addict. My clean date's on March 29th, 2017, and I'm grateful for HNI. If it wasn't for HNI, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, I just wanted to share what's going on here. We're in the El Paso, Texas area of Narcotics Anonymous, and thanks. I'm grateful for all this useful information. You know, we're in a unique area, you know, in West Texas, in the tip of Texas, and then we're right there on the border of southern New Mexico. And I'm grateful for my fellow members of the region that have helped me out to get connected also to like the New Mexico Department of Corrections, you know, where they are going to allow Zoom meetings. And the local facility here in El Paso with the Texas state system doesn't allow it. So, you know, we just got to take what we can get. You know, there's a women's facility, a long-term facility that we're about to start Zoom. I'm grateful for my vice chair of HNI here in the El Paso area. And one of the things I wanted to throw out there was, upon release, as a committee here, we decided to utilize our phone line subcommittee and have those members coming out of treatment to use that phone line and have a list of numbers of people with some clean time so that they can get connected to these online meetings, because since there's not any in-person meetings. So, you know, I just wanted to share that information with all my fellow members out there in the world, and I'm truly happy and grateful to be here. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is David.
Hi everyone, my name is David. I'm an addict. I'm the coordinator for the detention
David.
North San Diego County area, and I was wondering if you know, if any of the other areas have a Zoom meeting that they take into the detention facilities, the jail basically, you know, and have that. I've tried to reach out to the counselors there at the facility, and I haven't got any response back from them yet. Obviously, they're busy with lockdown and everything else like that, and trying to keep everything safe. But I do know that they have, you know, access to a computer in their day room area, you know, for a lot of them, you know. And I was just hoping that maybe somebody can get back to me on how if they have meetings in the jails and, or the prisons, and also if they have a way that I can get in, you know, another point of contact that I could use. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Shane, do you have a answer to that, or do you want me to open that up?
Well, I can say that Tom spoke to a lot of really pertinent stuff on that, and it's so difficult because the jails, and especially the prisons, and especially the federal prisons, are so restrictive of communication. And so, and something else Tom mentioned is a lot of time they want staff to be there on site while it's going on with the equipment. And so the only thing that we've actually talked about with our local prisons and jails is the closed circuit TV inside of the jail that they use. In every pod they have a TV where if there's riot or something else going on, they can send the messages. And so you got to really think out of the box about what you can offer them, you know. And so I think I would let somebody else who's more technical than me talk about that, but we've really kind of looked at every little thing, you know. And you know, I see Tom smiling, so he's probably got some ideas that that I'm unable to answer. But that's a great question, David, and I think there are some people here who can help with that.
Thank you. So what I'd like to do is, because we do have quite a few hands up, and you might get some answers, David, with some of the people that are going to speak next. But if anyone has an answer directly David's question, please put in the chat box so he knows how to reach out to you. I don't want to get people's questions lost for sure.
Thank you.
Next up, yeah, no problem. And also, as well as Bob, I'm sorry we didn't get back to you from question from when Ashley spoke. If you would, if you're still on, if you could post that question as well in the chat box, just because there's probably answers on here and we may not get to them. Next up is Kevin K.
Hi, yeah, I was thinking about our detox. So we got some people that are pretty solid in the program, good message, and they're wanting to use our format. They're in a lockdown. They cannot, we can't bring meetings in there, but they have not been approved through our H&I committee. They're just members of the fellowship, and you know, it's a struggle because we can't get in. They're not open to hearing any Zoom or seeing or hearing about Zoom yet. Hopefully, this form letter thing might help. But in the meantime, it's like the Wild West. Out here getting the meetings going and especially getting meetings into these lockdown facilities. And yeah, I was just tripping on how it's going, where these women have just picked up, because they work there in that facility and they're solid in NA, they're taking over this position, basically my detox coordinator position, and running detox in that facility. And you know, it's like more power to them for doing it, but like I guess as long, you know, everything is so untamed right now, it feels like. And I'm just wondering if, you know, I've invited them to our H&I thing, and I'm wondering if it's a run by the facility, then it has nothing to do with NA, and we can't furnish them with any literature, etc. Blah blah. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. If anybody has any ideas how I should push forward to area when I, you know, H&I service when I get there.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Shane, do you have any response to that?
Can you kind of be more clear about, so you have people that the facility is willing to let in there, they're just not members of your local H&I committee?
Correct, and they're not on the committee, but they're employees at the detox, which is also a outpatient. Or no, they live there. You know, it's a rehab.
No, I got you. So that's why they're in there, because they're members, and they're also, I don't know, has your committee talked about some of the confusion that might cause, and then
Well,
maybe
yeah,
tried?
that was my concern. Like, are they running the NA way? You know, are they running the NA way? And but the area of H&I, the chair of H&I said that since it's a lockdown facility run by that facility, that it's actually a 12-step meeting and not an NA meeting.
Well, I mean, that's what I was asking myself, was, is it maybe time for an institutional meeting until there can be an H&I meeting? You know, can the local area maybe give it some literature, and they can have an institutional meeting until they can be an H&I meeting as per your all's guidelines and what you all approach?
Institutional, got it. I'll throw that at them next month. Yep.
I don't, the situation you're describing is a difficult one, and I think it could definitely go either way. I mean, there's probably a situation where you could do it and they conduct themselves great and it works fine, but do you really have the oversight that you want? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a pandemic. I mean, there's just all this stuff that, you know, I think it's a great question, but I don't know, man. I think institutional meeting might be the way to go for now. Are you guys familiar with those, Kevin?
Are there different guidelines for that? No, I'm not that great. No.
There's somebody on here with a bunch of experience that can jump in about an institutional meeting, I know. So I'm going to stop
We'll
talking.
make sure, Kevin, to put a link in there to how you can find that book. It's a booklet and it's probably free to download, but I don't think you have to order a hard copy, but we'll make sure to get that to you in the chat box here as soon as possible.
Cool, thank you. And I'm assuming it's a lot like prisons and jails. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Well,
All right, next up
are there asking questions
is,
or?
yeah, Could you, we got a queue right now. Next up is Carl
Okay.
D.
Okay.
Carl, you're up if you're available.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my name is Carl D., San Jose area. In relationship to what Dave was asking about, we go through the same problem trying to get in. We have a felony restriction. Nobody can go in if they have any kind of a felony. So that kind of restricts even putting somebody into a lockdown facility like a jail or whatever, because they are like, they don't want to see anybody on the Zoom that isn't cleared, that doesn't have a current clearance. So that kind of limits who we can have do it. But as far as just getting a Zoom meeting into a facility, the main thing is to talk to the volunteer coordinator, okay? And then, like you say, if you know that they have equipment inside, the next stumbling block that we've gone through is the Wi-Fi. They have it, but they're not going to share it, okay? Because they don't want you to be able to get in at their Wi-Fi. So the only other thing I would suggest is that you bring in a phone that's perfectly capable of doing a hotspot, and just go, hey guys, all I need is your device. Put Zoom on there. I'll put up my phone will do the Wi-Fi, and we'll get this done, and then everything will be shut down and taken out of the facility. That's about the only way I can think of to help talk to these people and say, look, we'll bring in everything, okay? But I know they're gonna want to make sure that the people who are on the Zoom meeting are cleared. So that's something that you have to deal with your H&I coordinator. But that's what we're going through down here in San Jose.
Thank you, Carl. We're going to take one more here, and then we're going to have to move on. If you have a question that's unanswered or something, make sure to add to the chat. We will, again, if we have time at the end, circle back around to any questions. Doug, you're unmuted. Good to see you.
Thank you. So I'm an addict named Doug. I'm California Mid-State Region. Thank you guys for the effort to get this together. So far, the presentations, Ashley and Shane, very interesting, useful, practical, and all the questions have been useful. So I appreciate all that. So as I'm listening to you guys, I'm realizing that a resource that I know that I could use in doing outreach to correctional institutions, specifically county jails, state prisons, would be having a list of institutions you're working successfully with that would be willing to talk to their peers that we might be approaching. Now, I'm not asking for you to get a correctional facility to give some endorsement. Simply be available to their own peers to talk about their experience dealing with you and what it was like. So I would really like a tool like that as a list of institutions that you guys and have been able to, through NA service, work with successfully that I could refer to. So I go to, for example, a county sheriff and talk about doing this because we're locked down on our in-person H&I meetings. We could talk about this possibility, and I could see that one of the things they're gonna ask me is, who else has been doing this? And so if you guys would be able to share such a list, and I would expect that you'd need to go through a process of getting the okey doke from whoever you were referring to on that list, that they would in fact be able to accept inquiries from their peers, i.e. another county sheriff, another prison warden, so forth and so on. So food for thought, it would be helpful in my case. Thanks.